Hi everyone, I'm recording the video to work over the design for the namespace level policy management page. And so the namespace is still in development. And another day I talked with Nick to get the progress of what they're doing. So this is Epic 4257. If you want to check, you can check it there. So they have several iterations. And when we can use it is probably already the last iterations. This will be lagging. So for here, when the UI is more solid, and we probably will introduce secure into the left nav and to be part of it. But it's probably like maybe middle later next year. So now like maybe we can think about the intermediate solution, and we have a lot of discussion about it. So currently we don't really have a good location. The only way left is the menu. And but we did an investigation like this menu is user bound. So it's not really ideal, but we can think about some like solution to improve it for the user. And I'm going to go through the MVC kind of approach the first iteration and to see it will solve our users' problem or not. So before that, I want to just quickly say what we want in the future for the namespace thing. In the future, we probably like when we have this namespace, like our workspace, depending on how we call it, ready, and we will have like basically protect and secure there, and policy is one of it. And for everyone who can access this workspace namespace, and they will get access to the policy and manage it. And in the future, if we want to, based on the user feedback, we might introduce new rules and stuff. But by default, or like for the initial MVC for this workspace for policy, we just want the people who have access to the workspace will access to the policy. And we want the user to see all the group and the project and in the policy area as well belongs to this namespace or workspace. So this is for the future. And for now, what we're thinking is like we're still using the menu, and we change the secure to secure and protect, or like more suitable name there, and to have like a policy introduced there. So we need to solve two problems. So the first problem is that this is user bound. User need to know that like all the project they can see, they need to be at least a developer for that project or the group. So they need to do some modification on their side. And then secondly, by default, we need to import all the policy for them. So how to let user know? I'm thinking that when this is empty, we just let user know like currently there are how many projects available. If you don't want to modify, they need to go to setting. And when they go to setting, so we need to tell them that you need to be either owner, maintainer, developer to this area. So they probably need to go to their settings to add themselves to more projects. That's not ideal, but if they do that, they can still manage to make things work. So before we have the namespace, I think that's like probably like a more effort solution for the user, but it's still usable. User can still use it. And we can make it a little bit less effortless for them is like automatically import all the project for them by default. And we have a quick select all session for all of them. So they probably can just, if they add them to enough projects or groups, and then we can see select all. So this is like the default view when it's empty, that we by default select all the available project for them for policy. But for the dashboard and other stuff, we leave it like empty. User need to manage it themselves, like what is currently now. And in the future, if you either want, you can deselect something. And when they create like a policy, we highlight it here in the scope area. I think we talk about this source or scope. I think here, like the source is a little bit confusing, less clear because we have setting here about how many projects and stuff. So maybe like in this area scope, which is more accurate, we can still change it. And here we say like how many projects are selected in the settings. And you will know that it's in the settings, I need to change it. And I think that's basically it, the idea. Like if we like it, we can furtherly talk about the details. So for example, for the policy, I do have like some the settings area do have some other alternatives. Like for example, like below you see here, this all the description here is a little bit crowded. I'm thinking maybe we can just like separate them into different columns. It's more easy to read, but the downside is you have a lot of white space here. Another solution could be like we still have there, but here we kind of for each column we repeat it, like when you select it, what that this do, to make sure you understand and all the details is in the tooltip. So that's another solution. So this could be like a expanded scale to the future solution that for each project you can choose which actually policy, one policy, two policies, three policy. It could be more like scalable if we do something like this. But it's all for future discussion. If we think now we want to temporarily do this for the user before the namespace, before this guy is ready there. So thank you. Let me know what you think.